It's like, when you categorize pizza as being labeled as a vegetable because there's tomato sauce on there, I got a problem with that. Yeah, and they call it is labeled a vegetable. That's why they still serve pizzas in schools.
Right.
You know, and I'm thinking like, what is wrong with the education system? And I know there's a bunch of very smart, educated people that work there. So how did they let that one slip by?
You downloaded it.
Well, see, now it looks like it's the right way.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
So some guy tried to friend me, and I noticed he was friends with a couple people I knew. But then I asked my husband, I don't know this guy. Do you know him?
You're on live.
Shut up, I am not.
Yeah, you are.
Am I live?
Yeah.
Hey,
we can't delete it.
Angels, Chris Ferris.
Okay, so let me finish my story then. Some guy tried to friend me, right? And I asked my husband, do you know this guy? And he said, no, I don't know him. Why? And I was like, I'm just wondering if you know him. And I go look at his thing. He's friending me from jail.
No way. Are you serious?
Yes. And my question is how is it that people who are in jail have access to Facebook?
Right. Olivia, can you answer that question?
Olivia, answers to this.
Olivia, yeah.
Dude was obviously detained.
What the heck is going on? These prisoners got more access to it than I do.
And his profile picture had his jumpsuit on, so I know he was detained.
I got a question.
So I'm a little bit confused.
He was friending you from jail.
From jail. Yes.
So, wait, we had a conversation about prisoners and having access to stuff.
Uh-huh.
Do you think they even need access to the internet, or are they
I think it depends. I think it depends on the situation. Like, I'm not ready to say no completely. Like, if you're an axe murderer or something like that, then yeah, no, you can't have access to shit. You know?
Cut off their hands and call it a day.
Right? Exactly.
So, okay.
But if it's like a petty crime and you're trying to better your life,
but if you're in prison,
maybe it might help you, you know, to have...
Yeah.
But if you're in prison, you don't really have a petty crime.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of... Well, it depends, you know what I mean? You know, sometimes people go to prison for things that are like...
tax evasion or...
Right, it's not heinous, it's just not nice, you know? It's like
sometimes they got caught with weed too many times and it's stacked up.
It could be something like that, who knows?
People who go to prison for little crimes.
For little crimes, they do it multiple times and now they're in prison for a long time, but, you know...
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't think we need this contraption right here.
This thing? You don't need it?
Yeah, no.
Oh, man, I just spent like 5 minutes.
No, I'll use it.
Let's see. You know what? But the thing that sucks is when it hits those buttons on the Galaxy.
So
many freaking buttons on this thing.
No, but look, put it down.
Are we really live still?
Yeah,
we are.
Oh my gosh.
See, this is the behind the scenes of how you set up the camera.
This is what we do. Yeah.
Please don't judge.
We call this our lunchtime rant.
Right?
Is that better?
Yeah.
Are you satisfied, Scott?
Yeah, just tilt it up more. Where's that? How do you?
Who's on there besides Chris?
You got Trudy.
Hi, Trudy.
Julie.
I need to get with Trudy.
And a bunch of other people. There's 10 people right now.
Julie who?
Julie Fawson.
Hi, Julie.
Ooh, Patsy.
Hey, Patsy.
You might not know her. But...
I don't know if I know her.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
All right. We are here.
Okay, so I think we're kind of set up, right? We look really official with this microphone.
Could you extend that leg down?
This one?
We're still...
Oh, we're getting a lot of thumbs up from who knows what. Mariana.
Hey.
Rhonda.
Okay, we're going to actually start really having a real conversation in a minute after we finish all our technical issues.
All right. No, Joe.
Let's do this. Bam. Is that better?
No, I need to tilt the camera up.
You guys got to forgive us. Obviously, we don't know what we're doing.
We're getting so many likes right now.
Well, at least you know what?
It's like the comedy show at the gym, right?
The only way you're going to be able to tilt this up...
no, that's
why don't I just elevate
Does that leg extend down more?
No, look, why don't you just roll it up?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay.
Ladies, this is why we normally do things, right?
Okay.
He's like, I'm getting her forehead. Nothing else. Look at that.
Okay.
Technology. They're giving you hearts and likes because it's Lala.
Yeah.
I get on there, I get nothing. I get like angry faces and stuff.
No way.
Who's Joe talking about our food again?
Okay, we're gonna.
I'm here to talk about your food again.
We are going to talk about food. So we're going to talk about some stuff. So we were having this conversation where we were while...
Someone said, okay, someone said, the camera's fine, just stop moving it. All right, here we go.
Thank you. Thanks, whoever that is, for saying that. Okay, so we were having this conversation when Coach Joe was trying to poison me with cottage cheese because I'm a vegetarian and I don't eat that stuff, okay?
She deserved
so
it.
he put it in the pancakes, okay?
Healthy pancakes, by that.
So he's making healthy pancakes that have cottage cheese in them, and I didn't know. So, anyways. So we were having this conversation about how people complicate things, right? So, and we have our meal plan for the people who are doing the challenges and stuff, and we try to keep it super simple, and it's almost like people can't wrap their brain around the fact that it's easy. Like they're asking us for complicated details that we don't have.
So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? So some meal plans, we were just discussing that some people actually like the overly complicated ones with a whole bunch of details, but then others it turns them off. And then, like what I was saying, like you really simplify it. But I think some people are so smart that it's hard for them to come down to the level of the meal plans. So yeah, we were kind of ranting about that, about like, dang it, why can't people just look at this and just take it for what it is? Right. This is what it is, damn it.
Right. So
it's just simple.
Like my mom, I was talking, Mom, if you're watching this, like, I love you to death, but you crack me up, you're hilarious. She will literally get the little Weight Watcher scale, and she will, like, weigh out her pretzels or her chips, and it just it crack me up. I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, it's not even worth it for me if I can only have 5 chips. Like, I don't even want it. Right? So really, nutrition is not supposed to be complicated. Like, we're supposed to just eat to live, right?
Yeah. And I think there's a time and place to weigh stuff. I think when I had my scale, it was good to, like, measure just to see, like, okay, what is 4 ounces of chicken,
right,
whatever.
Right.
Because, I mean, my belly or my eyes are bigger than my belly sometimes. Like, I think I need all this food, but my stomach is like, stop, I surrender.
Right.
But I think that, weight's okay, but trust me when I say this, people, even when I was in my competition days, I did not weigh my food. I didn't weigh it. I didn't put on a scale. I just ate. I mean, I know when I'm full, I listen to my body, and then that's that.
Right. Well, I always look at it like, am I going to be able to do that for the rest of my life? Like, am I going to be lugging a scale around to restaurants and, am I going to be stressing out about...
You've been in a restaurant with your friends? Like, hold on, guys.
Hold on, I got to weigh this.
Waiter! Put the fish on top of the scale.
Can you make sure that's exactly 4 ounces before you bring it to my table, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it needs to be practical if you're going to stick to it.
But you know what it is? It's those freaking companies. It's those people who come up paleo and keto and... all those people saying, like, you got to follow these, like, crazy rules that's unrealistic, and then we just confuse ourselves. And then so we think we need all these tools before we eat the meal. By the time we get all the tools out, the meal's cold.
Right. Well, I think, too, is that we've gotten away from and it's so simple, moderation.
True.
Like, you can really eat what you want to eat if you do it in moderation. Like, everybody, like, I don't know about you, but everybody likes a piece of chocolate cake every once in a while. I do. I want to have those things every once in a while. I'm not going to say that I'm never going to have it ever in my whole entire life. And I know Joe's going to have cheesecake sometime in his life.
Thanks for calling me out.
But he's not going to have it, like, all the time, every day, or even once a week. He might have it, like, what, on your birthday?
Maybe.
That was your birthday. Yeah. Like, you got on your birthday, you had a little piece, right? Yeah. And he didn't eat the whole cake. He ate, like, a piece of it. So... I think as a society, like, we've gotten so used to Friday nights, we're, we call it Fat Fridays. Yeah. We have Fat Fridays, Friday nights, or Saturdays, that's the day that we go and we just splurge and we eat all this food. Or, if you did something good, the kids did something good in school, so now we have to take them for ice cream. Or, we get so used to this, everything's overkill.
I have a problem with moderation, because people talk about eating in moderation, do things in moderation, but, like, They take it so out of proportion.
Right.
They make everything their moderation, like...
Right, everything
I'm going to eat cookies every day. I'm going to have pizza every day. It's like, no, that's not moderation.
Moderation is once... I think for me, moderation is once in a while. Yeah. Like a birthday. Or a special, occasion where I'm like, I really want a piece of chocolate cake, you know? I really want it, but I'm not going to eat the whole chocolate cake. I'm going to eat a piece, right? And, we feel like we have to treat ourselves all the time.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Like alcohol. Like people think they need to treat themselves to wine every night.
Right.
And I'm sorry if I offend you, but not sorry. I mean, it's like alcohol, good. And it's so much better when you do it sparingly than when you do it all the time. Then you don't get the full effects and you don't get to enjoy it because it's like an everyday thing.
Well, you know what? That is true. That really is true. And I can say that because I'm a coffee drinker, you guys know.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys know I was a coffee drinker?
Just a little bit.
So I drink coffee. I do. But I have cut back on it. But there was a point, maybe about a month ago, I think I was telling you, where I was actually not even enjoying the coffee. Like, I was literally drinking 2 cups in the morning, driving, stopping at Starbucks, getting a venti coffee, drinking that. On my way home, getting another venti coffee. And then I would go to soccer practice, get another venti coffee. I would sometimes go home in the afternoon, make a pot of coffee. And I was drinking so much coffee all the time that at some point it wasn't even a treat anymore. It was just overkill. It was affecting the way I felt. I could still sleep, amazingly, but it was just affecting me. So it wasn't even something that I really was enjoying. It was something like I had to do.
Yeah.
And I think like a lot of times with our food and the way that we live our lifestyles, we almost feel like we have to do these things.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have to get pizza on Friday night. We have to get, we have to, whatever it is. We have to go through the drive-through because it's simpler.
Yeah.
Instead of just maybe changing or tweaking our lifestyle a little bit so that we can eat a little bit better.
Yep.
So does that make sense?
It makes sense. And I think that like, if you miss like a cheat meal and you get upset about it, then you got a problem. You get a problem.
Yeah,
it's just like,
that's true.
Because like for me, it's no big deal. If I don't eat something bad or if I don't get that one snack that I want or whatever, I can go to bed and still go to bed happy. But I think some people like they have to have a little ice cream or they have to have the cookies and stuff like that. Whatever the addiction is. I mean, but then it's okay to admit like okay, And now it's like okay, let me start making moves to fix this problem. But I think that like people really they don't really put up emphasis on food addiction. We do with drug addiction, we do with alcohol addiction,
Definitely.
And we'll wag our fingers at them because we don't have that addiction. Because I don't drink, so I'm going to wag my finger at you, But then if you're thinking about that, food is the one thing we all have in common. So since we all share a similar addiction, we're not going to be going, oh, look at you,
Right.
Unless you're just extremely obese, and then we're going to be like wagging that finger. But if you could be skinny and still have heart disease and you can have diabetes, so you don't have to be an overly large person to have those diseases.
But have you also noticed that when you talk about food, how offended people get?
Yes,
people
they get personal.
So offended. Like if I was talking to you about drug addiction or alcoholism or something like that, and it was something in your family, and you knew, you had people in your family on drugs or who are on alcohol, you wouldn't really necessarily get offended. But if I talk to you about food, and maybe you should think about changing your diet, or maybe you shouldn't, these are some tools I think that you can use. Everybody immediately, or at least a lot of people I know, they put up this wall of like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Or don't take that away from me. Yeah, I know I went and worked out, so I can have whatever I want to eat. Don't talk to me about that. When fitness and lifestyle change is really 75-80% about what you're eating. Yeah. So we can't talk about it because we don't want to offend you.
Well, what I love is what people tell me is like, you eat that gross stuff, don't you? I'm like,
right.
You mean vegetables?
Like, right?
I'm like, really? I'm like, no, the gross stuff is at McDonald's you slurp down your throat.
Right.
I'll go to social parties and everything, and like, I would make people uncomfortable, not on purpose, but people get uncomfortable because when I eat the stuff that they had laid out. But if you're having Doritos and burgers and hot links and stuff like that, if I choose not to eat it, then like I shouldn't make you feel bad unless.
Well, sometimes I feel bad because I'm not eating it. Like I know that we've been,
that's true.
I know we went on vacation and we were at some people's homes and they had like cooked for us.
Yeah.
And then my husband was like looking at me like, why are you so bougie? Like just eat some, it's not that big a deal. And I was like, but I don't really eat like that. And like, I know if I eat that, I'm going to feel horrible. Like not horrible as in emotionally horrible, but I'm physically going to feel gross if I eat that. Because
Have you ever ate something you didn't want to eat because you didn't want other people around you to feel bad?
Yes. Today when I ate that pancake though.
That wasn't Like cottage cheese pancake.
Right? I was like, what the heck?
Say hi to Anita and Juanita.
Hi, Anita. Hi, Juanita.
Boom. What's up, ladies?
Hey, Juanita, where have you been? I know.
Is Juanita Mills?
It's Juanita. What's your last name, Juanita?
Oh, boy.
Oh, never mind.
Yep, I know who it is. I know who it is. Juanita. Yeah, and I see her pretty picture on my Instagram and on my Facebook all the time, but I never see her pretty face here, over here. You need to come see me. I'm missing you. So, yeah. So those are the kind of things, like, and that is hard, I think, especially when you're trying to, like, you want to live a healthy lifestyle, but you think in your mind, well, I'm only going to do it for this long because it is uncomfortable. Not just the workouts and stuff, but going to functions where there's family and it's hard. And now you're expected to kind of like change your whole the way you do things.
Yeah.
And then they feel guilty. Yeah. Right? And so then they project it onto you, and then you have this weird feeling, and do you guys ever feel like that? Do you guys feel like that?
Hey, now for commercial break.
Now we're gonna take it down for copyright infringement.
But the funny thing is, for me, is these supplement companies and even the fitness industry. I mean, I'm in it. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. There's so much money that goes into these industries, and we still have one of the most obese countries in the world, hands down. America, I think we're number one, or we're close to number one. We're close to the top in the world. We like over 60% of the people in the nation are considered to be overweight. So for me personally, I'm like, do these supplements really work? First of all, I don't know, maybe. But are we out eating the power of those supplements? Are we out eating?
I would say yes. Yeah. I definitely would say so. I mean, supplements are supposed to supplement what you eat, right? Yeah. And so why don't you just eat well? You're eating so much now. Like, think about the average American. We eat way more than we're supposed to eat, like, as far as volume goes. Like, we eat a ton of food. What if you took that same amount of volume and you ate good food?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then
and then what's even worse is that not only do we eat the most, but then we waste the most. So then we're wasting so much more food on top of that.
Right.
It's true. Yeah, we it's swapping things out. So I always tell people, like, on your plate, look at your plate and then ask yourself, like, okay, what value is this adding to my life right now? And don't tell me happiness because it's a bunch of fried chicken. It's like, it's like what value? Like, how am I benefiting? When I walk out of here, am I going to feel like $1 million? Or am I going to feel like I just got hit by a ton of bricks? Like, what am I going to feel like walking out of this place if I go out to a restaurant or at home? And people, when they I'm going from subject to subject, but kids.
I was just going to say kids.
Our kids so much crap. And we're like, but they're kids. This is the most crucial time in the children's life to eat right. Like, why would we want to give them like all this junk food or these poor made, like, nutrient deprived food? We're gonna give this to them because they want it, because they're kids. Because
it's easy, I think. And I'm gonna say, because I'm a mom and I'm guilty of it too. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I know, like, my first set of kids, they're older now.
It's got a bunch of sets.
And I was like, right. So I was single mom for 10 years. So I did a lot of drive-throughs. I was going to school full time. I was, working 2 jobs. So I did a lot of fast food. I mean, honestly, I did. I did that, and I justified it a lot of times. Like, it's late, they're tired, I just want to get them something so they can have full belly and go to bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so looking back on that now my younger children, they rarely have fast food. Like, it literally is a treat if they get it. And we never go to McDi ever. Well, they're not allowed to go there. They're not allowed to go to McDi.
Oh, McDi.
Yeah. And
slime burgers.
Right. So they're not really allowed to go there. But, and my husband, I love you, honey, but, he's the culprit. Like, he will, like, oh, well, they're kids,
Yeah.
But
it's like, where do we get that from? Where do we get that?
And I think, like, growing up in the 70s and 80s,
yes.
like, my parents would probably let us have food, every few months. like my parents would have a date night and they would let us have it, and it was like a big treat. And then I think when I had kids, it's like I wanted to treat my kids all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you feel like it's almost kind of like showing them that you love them or you think they're awesome, so you're going to take them and you're going to treat them with food.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
it's like giving a crack addict, a bunch of crack. Like, I love you. Yeah, they're going to keep taking it because it makes them feel it. You're stimulating them in a certain way, but not in the right way.
Oh, and I was going to tell you that. Okay, so my husband coaches youth football, right?
Yeah.
And he was asking the kids the other day, you guys, this is crazy. And I want you to chime in and let me know what you think about this. So he asked the kids, like, how many of you ate a breakfast today? And none of the kids raised their hand except for like 3 kids, and my son was one of them.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, we don't eat breakfast in our house. And it was so weird. Like my husband's like, I've never heard of that, like that your kids don't get breakfast in the morning. So that is so important, like for your kids to have breakfast before they go to school so they can think, right? So he came home and he was talking to me about it, and he's like, man, he goes, I really couldn't believe it. He goes, it was shocking to me that of all the kids on my football team, there was only like 3 of them, including Joseph, that got a breakfast in the morning. And my husband, like, he literally gets up every morning and he makes oatmeal and eggs, or, like he makes breakfast every single morning for the kids.
Yeah.
And I just found that kind of fascinating that parents don't make breakfast for their kids, or they let them just have cereal.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, let me send you might as well just give them some cookies.
Yeah,
Give them.
Just raise your blood sugar level sky high and let it just come crash.
Let me just give you a bag of candy before you go to school. That's what cereal is, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of shocks me a little bit.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like I said, I was a single mom for 10 years, and when I didn't know better, I didn't do better. But now I know better, so I don't do it anymore. But feed your kids. Please feed your kids before they go to school. Get them up an extra 20 minutes if you need to, but feed your kids a breakfast.
Yeah, and how many parents have actually seen what they feed these kids at school? They feed them crap.
Yeah, they do.
They feed them so much crap at school. And it's like, when you categorize pizza as being labeled as a vegetable, because there's tomato sauce on there. I got a problem with that. Yeah. And they call it is labeled a vegetable. That's why they still serve pizzas in schools.
Right.
And I'm thinking, like, what is wrong with the education system? I know there's a bunch of very smart, educated people that work there. So how did they let that one slip by and say,
money.
like, oh yeah, it's a vegetable? Yeah.
It's money.
Yeah, it's money. And then it's like the worst kind. I mean, at least get them some gourmet pizza if you're gonna give them pizza. Like, it's just like I don't know, cardboard, cheese, and tomato sauce.
Here and like, I have to admit, like my kids' school, they have a salad bar.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they do have a salad bar, and they have like 3 different things they can choose from. I pack my kids' lunch. Sometimes they get it. I know that Joseph is. Let's be honest here. Like, Joseph is not going to the salad bar. Okay, so I'm not trying to kid myself.
It's there, but it ain't gonna happen.
It ain't gonna happen. It's not. But I know if I pack him something, he'll probably eat it, because a lot of times what I do is I'll say, okay, like these are the things that you can have. You pack your lunch now. So he has options, and then he will eat it.
That's the trick, though, for kids. You gotta let them pack their own stuff.
So he
and then they take pride. I made this. I'm gonna eat it, no matter how much crap it tastes like.
Right.
They're gonna eat it because they made it.
Yeah, he will. But I do think it's good. At least at my kids' school, they do have a salad bar there.
Yeah.
But most of the kids, I'm sure, they're buying that pizza you're talking about.
Oh my God, yeah.
So Joe, I have a question. What about people who get the itis after eating? They say that the best food is when you eat and then you just get super tired and want to just lay down and go to sleep right after. They say that that's the best food.
Well, I mean, that's the French term for diabetes, I mean, literally, when you get the itis, it is literally your blood sugar levels have raised so high and came crashing, you're ready to go to sleep. Like, when you're about to pass out from food, that's literally what you did. You just skyrocketed, and you just went on that roller coaster where it goes straight down. And you are literally killing yourself. You are killing yourself doing that. And I'm guilty of that too. Matter of fact, every Thanksgiving, that is my goal. When I wake up, I'm not eating until dinner time, which is normally around 2 or 3 in most families. 2 or 3 o'clock, I'm going to eat so much, and I'm going to throw everything down so I can go to sleep. I want to sit on the couch. I don't want to move. I want to be a corpse. Like, that's the and it's crazy.
What's wrong with us? Why are we
like that?
Yeah,
it is like we want to torture ourselves, and then we get all like upset because we ate so much on the holidays. And let me tell you why people are sick. like flu season.
Mm-hmm.
Flu season is always around this time of year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, think about what goes on this time of year. We got Halloween, we got Thanksgiving, we got Christmas, we got New Year's. The reason why we're getting freaking sick is because we're destroying our bodies with all this bad food. We're completely killing it. And then we say like, oh, it must be the flu bug. No, it's because we're overly acidic and we are destroying our immune system, and our freaking cells inside can't fight off all that sugar and craziness that we're putting inside our bodies. And then we are getting totally sick from this stuff. So no matter what you breathe in your body, you're going to feel bad. So it's not the flu bug, it's freaking the food bug that we're eating. Like so much food.
I'm wondering how it's going to go this year because my mom has already said, like every year I get sick literally like November. Like I'll be sick. I remember last year I was sick from November to like February.
Yeah.
Like
I remember, yeah.
I was sick forever. Like I had the flu on top of the flu on top of the flu. I just could not shake it. And so I have gone back since June. I've been eating like vegetarian since June. So I'm wondering how it's going to go, you know, like with the holidays and everything.
Yes.
Like I don't miss meat at all. I know that sounds weird to maybe some of you, but I really don't miss it at all. But I'm wondering how it's going to go. How am I going to feel? Am I going to get that flu again?
Yeah.
You know, and it's a different kind of flu. It's either like a cold or it'll be like a stomach flu, or it's a different, you know, every time. But I'm wondering if, because the way that I'm eating now is so much cleaner, if it's going to make a huge difference. And so we're about to find out. That's a good experiment, right?
Yeah, it is. Why are we so much healthier all year round? Because that's like after New Year's, everyone's trying to get in shape, everyone's trying to eat healthy. All of a sudden our bodies are warding off all this bacteria and it's warding off all these toxins. We feel great, but as soon as the end of the year comes, we're getting all these flu shots. But why? You know,
and I'm not doing that either. I am not doing that.
I wish I had a choice.
I did that shot. It didn't
The
help me.
government doesn't give me a choice.
I was still sick. Remember last year I was still sick and I got the flu shot.
Oh
my mom always tells me, get the flu shot, get the flu shot. Well, it didn't help me.
Well, Coach Rose, she's got the flu shot, and she was definitely sick. She was out for like an entire day and a half.
Thank you. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, let me go and inject this like dead virus inside your body, and then just so you can.
Now, please don't message us.
Plus,
and tell
isn't
us
it like
how
one
we
in
are.
so many people, or was that like a vaccine or something where one in so many people were becoming paralyzed or something? I don't know if it's the flu shot. It was something that they.
I don't know about all
that. It was one of these things.
Medications alone, medications are really, they're meant to be a Band-Aid, right? Or like a quick fix. Medications was never meant for people to be on it for the long term. But we're so medicated dependent. There's some crazy statistic, and I'm going to find out what it is, but about how many people are actually on medication. You know, like one in I guess a handful of people are on some type of medication. You know, I think we're just overly medicated, highly dosed, and we're so malnutrition.
Right.
And,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I had, and I know you've probably had clients before in the past. I've had clients over the years, and one lady in particular, she was on massive amounts of medications. She had diabetes. You know, she was just like, I just thought, gosh, it's got to be so awful to live like that every day.
Yes.
Like, you know, and she's very overweight. And we started just a simple little healthy lifestyle change, and she started working out every day. And I want to say it was like within 3 months or so, she started taking down the medications, and to where she was only like on a couple different medications. And I was like, wow. She was like, all I've done is eat healthy and work out. Like I didn't do anything like crazy, you know, like. And it wasn't like a crazy meal plan or anything like that. It was just eating more green food, you know? Like
exactly.
people they underestimate the power of vegetables, like, and what they will do for your body, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So
and a lot of people they lack energy, and a lot of times they just lack the vegetables in their body, because when you have a potassium deficiency, or you're not getting enough potassium in your body's not absorbing the potassium, what happens is we feel very tired. And you know, potassium and sodium help your body go. It helps things function in your body. And then when your body's not functioning or fired off on all cylinders, your V6 or whatever, V8s now, I mean, now it's running like a 4-cylinder vehicle. You know, it goes, but not like you want it to. You got this powerful workhorse, and you're running like you're riding a tricycle, you know, and it's just because we're so malnutritious, you know, and we like everything in moderation. So we're eating all this stuff and the sugar, and like everything's just being spiked in our bodies, and we're not getting the power of actual real food.
So what would happen, like, if everybody just started eating healthy? I think, like, you know, we wouldn't have like all these.
Sexy.
Right?
They don't want to hear that.
I'm thinking if we were, like, a lot of these issues that we deal with, inflammation and these kind of things can be really attributed to our diet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, we wouldn't need all these medications.
No. It is unfortunate. I just hate seeing these young kids when they're in a state like they're just so unhealthy. You know, like, obesity aside, because they have that problem, but why are our children still to this day, as smart as we are with all the information out there, why do kids still have diabetes? Mm-hmm. Why do they still have diabetes? Why are we still not depriving our children? So we're depriving them of nutrition is what we're doing. Like, not letting them eat ice cream is not depriving them. You're saving your kid's life.
Right.
But feeding them ice cream, I mean, you're not, you're feeding the problem is what is happening. So just when people say, "Oh, I'm going to eat healthy, but I don't want to deprive myself." Like,
well, I think but on the other side of that, like, I remember again when I was a kid, we had ice cream, we had cake, we had these things, but we didn't have it every freaking week or every day. Like, we knew we weren't getting birthday cake unless it was someone's birthday.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it was like, I didn't even think of saying, "Mom, can we have a bowl of ice cream before we go to bed?" My mom would look at me like, "Are you kidding me? Like, what? Like, that's for someone's birthday."
Like, is that a thing? Yeah.
There's nobody's birthday in this house right now, you know? So
our ice cream would get freezer burned because it was sitting there so long in the freezer.
Right, or
it was a special occasion.
Christmas time, we look so forward to Christmas time because that's when we got to have goodies. Because we really, we didn't have that growing up in our house. My mom made a lot of stir fries and, she cooked for us. And we played, listen, you guys, we played outside. Oh my gosh. We played outside, right?
Yeah.
Like, we did.
Doesn't playing Minecraft count as playing outside? Because you're in a virtual outside.
No, I don't think so. So, yeah. So, and that's something that I struggle with my kids. Like, I literally have to force them. Like, go outside for 20 minutes. I'll set the timer. How horrible is that? That's awful.
Yes.
Like, I have to bribe them to go outside and play.
That's crazy.
Like, go play basketball.
Yeah, they'd rather not. They'd rather not be outside. And it's so weird,
It's weird to me because we used to, like...
Yeah.
I don't want to come in, And she would say, "It's time to come in now. Like, you've been outside all day."
Yes, that's how it used to be. Like, you have to tell me to come inside.
Now we have to, like, force our kids to play outside.
Exactly, yeah.
It's so backwards.
They don't know what to do. You've been
outside, they're like...
They sit out without there, my phone?
No, they sit out there like, "Oh, well, when can we come in?" Like, they have no idea what to do.
Yeah.
It's odd.
It is. And I think they're just being stimulated the wrong way. I don't think that children should not have technology because I think we'll set them up for failure when they get older and they're so behind in the times because technology is like, that's where it is today. But I think that they're so technology dependent. I think that they don't know how to operate or socialize.
They don't know how to socialize.
You see the little kids, like, they want their friends to spend the night, whatever thing, and then they're spending the night, high five, and then they're on the phone. Did you see that? Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not socialized. You all could do that from your own homes. Like, why even having to come over? But I think because they just don't know how to be sociable. They
don't.
They know these little viral videos. They watch the little things. They're living their life through somebody else. That's what they're doing.
Right.
Watching through a TV. Yeah, like, hey, this is
Or the one that really gets me is the guy who's getting paid, like, he must be getting paid millions of dollars. And it's so that my kid can watch him.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get it. I'm like, what?
They do get paid millions.
They do, right? I was like...
Makes no sense.
I want one of those channels.
Real?
They make $100,000 a month.
Please stop watching that.
yeah, please. Don't support
Don't support that
That's
anymore.
Some 30-year-old sitting in his mama's basement
right?
playing video games.
It's so weird. I'm like, what are you
Woo!
watching?
We getting thumbs up now.
It's true.
Hilarious to me, though. It's really funny.
They really watch those games.
Right, they do.
They're into it. I'm like, okay.
They do.
Yeah, so life is definitely taking, I think, a turn for the wrong lane. But, it's not something that we can't prevent.
Right.
At the end of the day, when your child is a certain age, we have an opportunity to really change the way their behavior is and everything. Mm-hmm. But I think it's like taking the initiative. I think as parents, we got a little lax ourselves.
Well, I know I have. I know I have. And I can say that, I've evolved as a parent. Like, I've been doing the parent thing for 30 years. Yeah. So, I know my first kids, and I tease them, like, you guys were the guinea pigs. You know, like, I had no idea. I was just trying to keep you alive.
This is practice. First two practice.
I was just praying you didn't die your first year of life, you know, right? Yep. So doing the best that I could, you know, with the tools that I had, not really knowing. And then now my other children, they're 11 and 6. And so their world is totally different than my older children's world, you know. They have to eat healthy food, and they have to play sports, and they have to do these things that I didn't really force my other kids to do. But my older children wanted to play outside.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's true, yeah.
And I think they ate less junk food.
Most likely.
Maybe it wasn't as accessible to them.
Yeah.
I mean, I did do the fast food thing with them, I will say, but for the most part, I don't think it was like as accessible to them as like it is for my other children. Like in school, there's junk everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
So it's a little bit different in that way. So, but definitely, I think I've evolved because I'm a lot more aware than I was then.
Yes, yeah.
It was, yeah.
But you know, the one thing I will give kids, and I'll speak to like my daughter specifically. I love the generational change and just like health and fitness aside. These kids are more accepting of each other, you know, and like how people are. Because I mean, like these days, like people in our generation and even older, you know, like people are changing. You know, the way they think, the way they act. You got rappers wearing dresses. I mean, you got all kinds of things going on. And these kids, it's like, and you know, like, and like the whole like you know race debates and stuff like that with these kids. They just see another kid across the way, and it's like, hey, that's just my friend. Like, so it's not like you know, it's not that weird thing where like, well, I have a such and such friend. It's like you know, so like they're growing up so much differently. So as much as we want to bash them for the technology, I mean, and that's their thing these days. Technology, that's where it's at. It's not so much like how we dealt with like with a race thing or like where you from thing. It's none of that. These kids are just like they're into their digital worlds, and then that's where they live. And, you know, and they just all kind of clash. You know, like. Bond together, you know. That's a commonality that they have. So being a nerd is being cool these days, you know. So and they love that. So I think that like you know when we punish our children for doing the wrong thing, I don't think we should take away their technology because that's their generation growing up. I think we should teach them how to use it to benefit them. If you're going to be on a computer all day long, or if you're going to be doing you know whatever Instagram, Facebook, how are you benefiting from it? Other than just watching someone else's life, what are you doing to help other people's lives out? What are you doing like to make you know maybe make a career? Maybe that guy in the video, maybe that guy on the couch is doing something okay for his mom.
We actually live in a time where you don't even have to. You don't have to. You should still always go to college. But let's say someone was unfortunate enough where they couldn't. You could learn.
You don't have to.
You could learn skills online in any field, and with those talents, you could get in somewhere and get paid a lot of money. A lot of people are doing this.
I wonder if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Because you really don't need a degree to make it big.
Because if you have a talent that people need, they'll hire you.
This guy, his name is Gary Vaynerchuk. And he talks very highly about how he is actually glad he didn't pursue his college degree. He did not finish his college degree, and he's a multimillionaire. But it's just based off of his skill, like and his willingness to be successful. And so he talks about he's like he doesn't think degrees are for everybody.
Maybe they're not.
Yeah, they're probably
maybe they're not.
Yeah, and I think that you know school is needed. I think we need to continue to stimulate the brain and to continue to be challenged. But like Skylar was just saying, like we're learning a lot online. Like the information is so available now to where before you had to get that information from school.
Right.
You don't have to go to school. I seen a doctor doing a procedure online, and I feel like I can go and cut somebody up now.
I'm not letting you operate on
I know, right? But I'm saying, like, but there's information out there. I can go there.
But I think the thing about school is this. I think school does other things for you outside of what you're learning in a book.
Yeah.
I think, especially, I went to school later in life. And what it taught me how to think. It taught me how to work with people.
Yeah.
Which is something they're not doing.
That's true.
It taught me how to be on time.
Yeah.
Which we have a whole generation of people who don't understand being on time.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So it taught me things and it taught me skills that I never would have learned had I just did my class or learned my skill online. It taught me social things that I never would have learned. It introduced me to people I never would have met, right?
Yeah,
people from other countries, people who had other backgrounds. You know, it taught me more things about life and how to navigate myself through this world, other than just the skill or the training, you know, what I went to school for. So, because I went to school for business. I don't really do. I mean, you know, I use very little of that now. I mean, a little bit of it I do, but very little. You know, I ended up going back and doing more in fitness because that's what I love to do. So, but the skills that I learned when I originally went to school for business have definitely transferred over the social skills. You know, it taught me how, first of all, I took a public speaking class. Now I'm able to get up in front of people and speak. Those are something I would never have done before. And that's very important, right? Because you need, as a coach, I need to know how to get up in front of people and command a room, right?
True, yeah.
So I do think that, yes, you can learn a lot of things from, you know, skills from being online, and you can learn a lot of things from a book, you can. But the stuff that you get from going to a college or, you know, a university, those things you can't measure that, you know? And that's why I want my kids my younger children to go to college, because I feel like they need that. And I don't want them to go to college here. I want them to go away and go to college so they can meet other people.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Right? Like my husband went to college in Montana and he met people from other countries and learned, you know, things about them that he never would have experienced if he would have stayed in Fairfield, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If he just would have went to Solano College, he probably wouldn't have learned, you know, he wouldn't have picked up that sort of thing. So I think it's kind of important. I think socially we're lacking.
We are.
You know, I just think we're lacking. We don't know how to do little things. Like we really just don't understand. For instance, there was a young man over the summer who came in, and Coach Leonard was here, and he would walk by him every single day and not say, "Hi, how are you?"
Yeah.
And Coach Leonard's an older man. It's kind of like the little boy's looking at his phone and he's just walking in.
Yeah.
And I just want to smack him in the back of his head, like, dude.
Yeah.
There's a grown up in the room. Can you acknowledge the grown up?
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like basic social skills that our kids are not getting.
No.
You know, I try to make my boys hold the door open for people. You know, there's
Come on.
I really try to teach them those things because those are important skills.
Yeah.
And definitely going away to college or doing some of those kind of things, that's gonna help.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, totally.
help with that area.
It is, and I think that there's some things we shouldn't let go. Like I said,
Right.
being sociable, working together, and then that kind of ties back into training. People who want to train and do their things on their own, most people find out that, you know what, I don't get as good as a workout by myself. You know, but when they find themselves in a community, in a culture with other people, other living beings, they realize, wow, my workout was so much better, you know?
Right.
And then that's why I love the group fitness thing. I fell in love with it, you know, because I used to be that guy. I used to be the guy who put my hoodie on, my music and everything, and I just get lost in the zone. And that's cool sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes that's okay. But majority of the time, I know for a fact I have a much better workout just feeding off the energy of other people around, doing things together and kind of high-fiving, just being around and cheering each other on. But at the end of the day, it's just being sociable.
Right,
I'm just in a social community, and we're doing something. We have a common goal that we're working on. So
I definitely love group. That's the one thing that draws me really to group fitness. That's what I really love about it, because I did the one-on-one thing, and it's really fun.
I'll be right back.
Oh, he'll be right back. Yeah, so I did the one-on-one thing, and it was really fun. But I think I just really love the energy of the group. No, that's just me personally. Who's out there? Does anybody have questions?
There's a lot of people. If anyone has any questions, please.
Everybody's just listening to us.
Anita did leave a comment saying she said the question is, are you living your true self? Are you being true to you?
Oh.
And talking about she had an interesting conversation while she was at a Janet Jackson concert, and it made her rethink things. you see on social media and what people put out there.
Well, it's kind of true because you know what? I think when you look at social media, a lot of times we think, oh, these people have a great, perfect life, right? Like you think, oh my God, I want, a house like that or a car like that. I want my kids to be perfectly dressed and everything's like going, you automatically think like they must have like this perfect life when really like their life's probably not perfect. It might really be a mess. So yeah, I can see, it's just kind of what you put out there.
We got a question from Leticia.
Hi, Leticia.
How would you go about treating a food addiction?
A food addiction?
Now, I'm assuming she's talking about bad food because it doesn't matter if you're addicted to broccoli.
Yeah. Substitute one for another. I'm not a doctor. I would just say that. And people who have like real food addictions, a lot of times they do need counseling, but a lot of times what really is helpful is to switch bad food out for a good food, that might help you, if that's your issue. And a lot of times, like I told Coach Brenda, this was a long time ago, we were discussing, sometimes you're really not hungry, you're thirsty.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you're really not hungry. You're thirsty. You think you're hungry, but you're not. You're really thirsty.
Yeah, you're dehydrated. Right. And like Joe was telling me, sometimes it's you're malnourished where you're only eating because your body's trying to get nutrients, and so you eat more and more and more trying to get it. But as soon as you have all the nutrients you need, then all of a sudden you don't even crave that food you're addicted to.
So, but a lot of times too, it's just that your body's dehydrated. Most of us are.
Yes,
dehydrated.
we are. A lot of us are really dehydrated.
So who else?
That's it for now, people. Let's, if you have any questions. Sarah's watching.
Hi, Sarah. I love you.
Oh, we got a lot of people.
I'm just going to sit here. Waiting for Coach Joe to come back.
Can we get some thumbs up or something to see if you are paying attention?
Some thumbs up?
And there's a delay feed, so it's going to take a while.
Okay.
I guess that we could just...
We're going to wrap this up.
Yeah, wrap it up and we could come back. Oh, we got a thumbs up. There it was.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to wrap this up today. We'll be back on here probably tomorrow or the next day, though. If you guys got any topics that you want to talk about, anything that you want to discuss, to talk about with me and Coach Joe, please message us, and we'd love to discuss it, okay, at our lunchtime rant. Bye, guys.